Hello, welcome to Pride of London Fan TV for the final review of the season, and it is over. The end of the Royball era. This season has felt really like a lazy Sunday afternoon watching an EastEnders omnibus, except at times it felt like we're better off with Ian Beale as manager. But I do want to put respect on Roy's name later on. I will do in this video for the job overall that he's done at Palace, but it finished with a 2-0 defeat at Anfield. So let's get into it. All the usual features, Roy's rating, and man of the match. So we'll start with the final Roy rating. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10 for today. I don't want to go too harsh. We lost 2-0 at Anfield. I guess that's to be expected in terms of the starting 11. I'm going to miss the uproar on social media at his selections at 3 o'clock, or, well, the varied times that there have been this season. I couldn't really have too much to criticise in terms of his team selection. I was pleased that he went with 3 more defensive midfielders, to be honest, on this occasion, because when he didn't at home against Liverpool, we got battered 7-0. So he'd learnt his lessons there. The only one that really sort of irritated was Jordan Ayew up front instead of Mateta. When are you going to give Mateta a chance? If not on the final game of the season, Jordan Ayew has offered little goal threat all through the season. And I know people will come back and say because of his work rate, one of the things I hear about Jordan Ayew is that he runs a lot. But as I've said in previous videos, Forrest Gump runs a lot and he doesn't play football. So Mateta I would have started, and then just during that game, it was all the usual things that you would say about Roy. It was kind of fitting end really to the last year and a bit of Royball, where it's just felt very much like some of the things we saw this year, particularly this season. The substitutions, Joel Ward, all have first half. You could tell that Mane was exploiting him. Mane sort of had the freedom of Anfield. He was struggling. Respect on Joel Ward's name. He's had a good season, particularly from that Brighton game, but he really was struggling today. And I would have brought Nathaniel Klein on at half-time. But no, of course not. That Roy just doesn't do those reactive substitutions, and that's something I won't miss. I would have brought Schlupp on earlier than he did. I would have brought him on at half-time as well. And also just no Mateta. Why not? When you need a goal, and we clearly needed a vocal point up front that would have allowed Wilfried Zaha to drop deeper and get on the ball, but it wasn't to be. And all those frustrations were embodied in the 89th minute. And I'm actually quite glad he did it. It summed it all up for me. It was the fitting end to the Royball era when he brought on Martin Kelly, a defender fans have been pointing out should probably be playing when we've used a central midfielder at centre-back all season in Kiate. But he brought him on in the 89th minute, a classic Roy move. But I do want to put respect on Roy Hodgson's name, as I have done through the season. As my caveat is that he has seen us through this coronavirus era. If we'd been relegated, it would have been a disaster, catastrophic for this football club, with over a year of no match day revenue and the financial implications that brings. So I think history will be kind to Roy Hodgson on his time at Palace, from the start when he saved us from the border debacle to seeing us through this pandemic period as a man in his 70s, one of the age brackets deemed vulnerable. So for that sense, it's thank you very much, Roy Hodgson. But like many fans, I am looking forward to the new era, though that new era seems a little bit more daunting with the news about Eze. And I do think it becomes a less attractive job to a manager. I think a new manager would have come in and built their team around Eze. And rumours that Frank Lampard has pulled out of the running, well, that wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. I think it already was a difficult job with the players out of contract and the big rebuild that was needed. Take Eze out of the equation for most of next season, it's going to be even harder. So we await the news of the new manager. Me personally, I felt like it's been lined up for a while. I know there's speculations. It goes from name to name. I think the club are waiting for Roy Hodgson to go, to be respectful. And I absolutely agree with that. Personally, I'm expecting an announcement next week, but it is Palace. So we might not get an announcement until a couple of weeks before the season starts. Who do you want as new manager? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know who you think should be appointed. Who do you think what Steve Parish will go for? Let me know, as always, in the comments below. Final man of the match of the season, I'm going to go for Tyrick Mitchell. I thought he did a good job on Salah overall. I felt, as I said, earlier in the video, much of the joy was on the side of Mane. Salah, obviously, he did good things and had a good game. But one moment in particular where Salah was in the box in the first half and Tyreek Mitchell defended it maturely beyond his years and shepherded him out. And we know how easy Salah goes down. He stood up really, really well. So Tyreek Mitchell, for me, one of the bright sparks of our season, is my man of the match. I do want to give a special mention to Andros Townsend. He did miss that chance in the first half, but I do think we alluded to IU's work rate earlier, but I think that's Townsend's work rate often gets not noticed. And I think he worked hard and actually had quite a good game on the whole. And he probably is a player, along with Benteke, that I would re-sign from the point of view that we're going to need some sort of steady hands next season, as they showed in the Brighton game, those two, where their season sort of kicked off from that moment that when the going gets tough, those sort of players can draw on their experience. So I probably would keep Andros Townsend and Benteke now, which isn't something I would have said earlier in the season. So credit to those two, which means they're probably both off for bigger contracts elsewhere because we've left it too late. Who was your man of the match? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about the players out of contract? Who would you re-sign? Who do you want to see us going for in the summer? One conclusion that I drew at half-time was that I think we need strengthening in every area on the pitch, apart from in goal and at left back. So let me know, really interested to know in the comments what you think on who the new manager should be, what your thoughts on Roy going, and also who would your man of the match be. So let me know in the comments section. And thank you to everyone who has watched my reviews through the season and watched the channel through the season. I'll be around in the summer, probably talking about transfers and the new manager, and probably do some stuff on the Euros as well. And as always, if you've liked what you've seen, please press that subscribe button. But for me and my gnome, for now, we're signing out of the season. Goodbye, Royball.